Good morning. This is Killaland on the Go with all you need to know in news and weather as you start your day.
A former Watertown child care provider admits to killing a toddler in her care. Wednesday morning, Amanda Walder pleaded guilty to first-degree manslaughter in exchange for her plea deal. Prosecutors dropped the other charges in the case, including second-degree murder.
In July of 2021, Walder was watching 17-month-old Liam Koistinen at her in-home daycare when police were called for an unconscious child. Liam suffered a brain bleed and died in the hospital. A Scotland, South Dakota murder trial will not be held in Bonham County. 43-year-old Francis Lang is accused of murdering 3 people in November of 2021.
The judge in the case has approved a change of venue, meaning the case will now be handled in Yankton County. Lang is scheduled to go on trial at the end of July. Prosecutors do not plan to seek the death penalty. A man accused of bringing a significant amount of meth into South Dakota plans to plead guilty.
Court documents say Alex Jaramillo would drive to California to get the drug and worked with 2 other people to distribute it in South Dakota. One of those people was in the Pennington County Jail on other charges, so many of their conversations were recorded. Court documents say the 3 would speak in coded words referring to meth as vehicles.
In June of 2021, a trooper pulled over Jaramillo near Hot Springs. Authorities say they found nearly 6 pounds of meth. He bounded out, but just a few weeks later, authorities pulled him over again. Court documents say troopers found more meth. This week, Jaramillo reached a plea deal with prosecutors.
A Sioux Falls man plans to plead guilty to carjacking. Court documents say Alexander Cota admits to asking a man for a ride by using a woman's Facebook account last April. When the victim showed up, Cota and another man got in.
After driving for a while, Cota says he pulled out a pistol and he and the other man took off with the victim's car. He also faces robbery and kidnapping charges in Minnehaha County for the same incident. That trial is scheduled for later this year.
Now let's send it over to meteorologist Scott Munt for a check of our current conditions, snow and wind. Scott?
Snow and wind for this morning. Still looking at some areas of plain rain in extreme southeastern South Dakota, Iowa, and Minnesota, but that will switch on over to snow. Along with it, as you mentioned, we will have a strong wind. So we'll have this wintry mix switch over to snow. This afternoon, windy blizzard conditions. Some areas with snow still falling during the early part of the afternoon. I think a lot of that will be found east of Interstate 29. And for this evening, wind continuing cold. We may see some areas fall to the single digits for air temperatures by this evening. Snowfall forecast 2 to 4 in Sioux Falls, Yankton, Brookings, and Worthington. There will be heavier snows found in southwestern Minnesota, at least 3 to 6 in Marshall. There's some indication suggesting that we may see a couple of isolated areas get a little more than 6 inches of snowfall. Temperatures will continue to fall through the morning and into the afternoon. More details on your forecast with Brian coming up.
Thank you, Scott. A 14-year-old girl is still in the hospital after a crash that caused life-threatening injuries last Thursday near Hartford. Izzy Webster was with her mom when she collided with an oncoming pickup in a construction zone.
Izzy is an 8th grader at Parker, and her dad says she is very outgoing, kind, and involved in many activities from softball and cheer to band.
She's one of the most outgoing girls you could ever imagine. She is in every sport possible. She loves people. She loves helping people. Anything active. I mean, softball's her go-to sport, but she plays volleyball, basketball. She's in track, chorus, band. She excels at her grades. I mean, she's just an all-around outstanding individual.
Webster says Izzy's mom, Tina, has been discharged from the hospital. According to the Highway Patrol, the 4 people in the other vehicle involved in the crash had minor or non-life-threatening injuries. If you'd like to help Izzy and her family, you can find a link to a GoFundMe on Kelloland.com, as well as information for an upcoming benefit. Governor Noem says she'll announce soon whether or not she'll sign the general sales tax reduction that the legislature passed last week. Noem was in Mitchell Wednesday for a bill signing involving lawsuits against farming operations.
She says the sales tax reduction is not true tax relief because it includes a sunset clause. She says she's also doubtful about calls among some lawmakers to make the cut permanent during future sessions.
Don't understand why everybody else gets to come first over the taxpayer. Why would they wait a year or two to do the right thing?
Nome is also hoping lawmakers will revisit her proposed grocery sales tax repeal, either during veto day later this month or a special session. The SDSU Jackrabbits just one day away from the opening round of the NCAA tournament.
KELOLAND Sports' Ian Sachs is in Blacksburg, Virginia, the site of their first game, with an update.
SDSU has arrived here in Virginia. The Jackrabbits are set to hit the practice court for the first time at the 2023 NCAA tournament Thursday afternoon. All this in preparation of their matchup with the USC Trojans Friday evening in the first round. The Jackrabbits will also speak to the media on Thursday, and we'll bring you all of that coverage right here on KELOLAND News. Reporting in Blacksburg, Virginia, Ian Sachs, KELOLAND Sports.
Thanks, Ian. And as the Jackrabbit women get ready to play in the NCAA tournament, winter weather is impacting the campus in Brookings.
SDSU will be closed today due to the winter storm. Only essential employees will report for work. According to the school's website, SDSU plans to return to open status tomorrow morning.
That's a look at some of our top stories.
Now let's get one last look at your weather with meteorologist Brian Karstens. Brian?
Busy day today, isn't it? And, calling out Brookings, too. We've noticed this morning heavy snow bands have been pushing into that area. And also, a lot of this blowing snow problem is developing here west of Sioux Falls as temperatures are falling. The duration of the morning is going to reveal a lot of changing weather as we combine that with increasing wind, blowing and drifting snow and near blizzard-like weather, as winds this afternoon will easily gust to 50 miles per hour in parts of the southeast. Our Minnesota counties in particular, really rough afternoon here. That thing eventually does push east here tonight. The advisory, again, is strongly worded for near blizzard-like weather. So you have to remember that when you see these graphics, that just because it's a winter weather advisory does not give you the green light necessarily to say that the weather is, just okay. It's definitely not, and it's going to be a deal today where these winds are really going to be howling out of the northwest. Even those of you that don't pick up as much snow, you're going to get that wind. And look at those sample numbers at 5 o'clock at Marshall, close to 50, Sioux Falls, close to 50. And Yankton right there at 45. The numbers do come down overnight some, but they'll come back tomorrow. And even Rapid City comes into this view. And it's getting colder as well. So it's a compilation of many stories. Wind chill factors are going to be a problem into Saturday morning. We've got sub-zero temperatures in the northeast. And then you look at the wind on Saturday, it's still 30 to 40 miles per hour. I know many of you are ready for spring, but we're going to have to hold off on that thought, at least for the next few days. Let's take a look at the rest of the maps here. There's Futurecast this morning, that potpourri band of rain to freezing rain to snow pushing across the southeast. Your heaviest snow rates will occur in Sioux Falls between really, what we're watching now through midday. So as you're watching this program, again, through 12 o'clock, we'll catch a big chunk of it. The leftovers between 1 and 3. And then after that, Minnesota, Iowa counties, you're going to still be dealing with new snow falling. Everybody that picks up snow in the southeast will have recycled snow blowing around as we wrap up the day into the evening. So again, that's your trouble on the roads. And obviously visibilities can easily be restricted as those gusts come through. How much snow? Well, not a huge storm in terms of snow numbers. 2 to 4 inches, Brookings, Sioux Falls. But I will still argue there are going to be some finer elements in this forecast, some localized totals that could surpass that. We've picked on Marshall. I could throw in a few more counties in southwest Minnesota. This is still a developing weather situation. I still feel there's things here moving, and you'll want to pay attention to the weather. So I'm glad you're watching this program now online, and check back in with our broadcast throughout the day today. Well, we're cold for the weekend. Look at Sunday morning. We're back below 0 in Sioux Falls. You thought we were done with that. No, we are not. It'll be in the 30s next week, though. It'll recover. There's still talk of another storm out there, day 7, day 8. More time to expand on that subject, I'm sure, in the days ahead, but it's too far out to really get specific yet. Pierre, Rapid City, enjoy some 40s. We'll get back on track Monday, Tuesday, but still just a struggle to get back to near normal weather. More details online with the forecast at KELOLAND.com. Stay safe.